I'm Thomas Edwards, creator and author of The One Up Effect, helping high-performing professionals with families have fun becoming their best self through purpose, play, passion, and performance.
The recovery experience in the recovery group was a huge experience for me, because what it did was it gave me spiritual ground. It gave me a spiritual boundary around how to live life. And it made me realize that like the alcohol and the drugs were just symptoms. They were physical symptoms of a deeper struggle, which was I didn't have any spiritual grounding in my life. And so without those boundaries, I was completely unhinged. I was living ambitiously, living in fear, and with not enough love, And so I always think of, as I'm drinking coffee here, imagine if I'm holding a coffee cup here, and the coffee represents all the stuff I learned that we had just talked about from my therapist, and and all these things. And I was here, and then my need to escape, my obsession to escape life and my emotions was like the cover, and it was all this heat was just trapped inside this cup. So there was no way I could really digest this drink because it's too hot. I know that this could be good for me. This could give me something, but it's too hot. I can't digest it. And all of a sudden now I understand spirituality. I come into that. I have the spiritual experience. I have a connection with a power that's greater than my own. I'm letting go of my own self-will. And all of a sudden now this cap comes off, the steam comes out. And now all the things that I've learned in my progress towards living a better life, I'm now able to digest. And so my life not only got better, it stayed getting better, and that was a big thing. And then here's where games come back into play. So I was, having my life was getting bigger, things were more manageable. I'm showing up more as a husband, a father, and a business person, and every other role that I played in my life. And I wasn't enjoying it. I just wasn't having
I thought
fun.
it was I thought that would have been the finally you go through these ups and downs, and you have these moments of realization and thinking, oh, that's the happily ever after. It's not.
No,
It's not.
it wasn't. It was significant, and that's why it's important to call it. But what allows this story, and the reason why I love sharing this story and being so open and transparent about it, is because I know this is what people go through a lot. And oftentimes we go through this and we think that we're the only ones going through it, or we don't know how to do it because we don't know anyone else who's gone through this. How can we go through all these swings in life and make it through? Well, this story hopefully can give you insight of how you can, and how it's your life and the evolution of you is who you are is never ending, And so while I did have spiritual, grounding, and I had the boundaries that allowed me to be a contributing member to society and not burn my life apart, the reason why I wasn't having fun is because I saw my life as a series of obligations that I created for myself that I had to fulfill. And while they were obligations I wanted to fulfill, I didn't connect to the idea that I could have fun. I could enjoy fulfilling these obligations. And if they were making up the majority of my life, I knew that if I wasn't able to find a way to enjoy these things, that eventually I would want to escape, and I know in my life, I can always have the capacity to escape, but I may not have the capacity to come back. And so that realization made me very diligent and vigilant about finding what fun looks like in my life. And so that's when video games came back into my life, where I finally allowed myself to enjoy the very thing that I had always used that created joy, happiness, creative expression. I never used video games as a means to escape life. For me, it was used to enhance my view on what life could be, and a way to connect to other people and to connect to myself and my innermost self and my inner child. And it was just all those things. And I decided that I needed to find a way to keep this in my life. And so now, having removed myself from wingman, I retired. So January 12th, 2019 was the last day I ever worked as wingman. I retired, even though I didn't know what I was going to do next. But I retired because I knew I needed to separate myself to have the space to explore this. And so I
Was
decided,
that easy for you to change that identity finally? Because for me, I used to be an academic and it took me a while
yeah.
to stop, using that as my identity. Did it take you a while, or was that okay, I made the decision, I'm retired, I'm not a professional wingman anymore?
Well, the year and a half of actively mourning the death of that identity was the time that I took to let it go. And then eventually I got to a level of desperation where I had to, right? Like I didn't have a choice. And so for me, it wasn't a struggle in that sense. I already had the struggle, right? And so at that point, it was like, I'm done. I'm complete with this. Like I
Done.
need
Yeah.
to let it go. And by the way, like the professional wingman still exists. I just don't do that type of coaching. I mean, there's programs that are available. People are still using my programs. They're still getting married. I mean, the professional wingman, for all the internal strife and conflict that I experienced, the professional wingman is still responsible for almost 400 marriages and hundreds of engagements and over 1,000 relationships, right? There are kids who are walking this, around
There's
because
goodness
I had a
that came
part. Yeah,
from it. Yes, yes.
exactly. And so it's still there, and I'm glad that it's there. And I'm glad that I separated myself from it, because now it gets to do what it's meant to do and without me getting in the way of it. And so
Please like, subscribe, hit that bell, get notified when we put out videos, which happen almost every single day. And if you found this video interesting or inspiring, please share this with someone who might find this interesting or inspiring too. I'd love to hear what they have to say and get them in on the conversation. And if you want the exact process and science behind reducing stress, virtually eliminating burnout, and learning how to have fun creating more success in your health, wealth, self, family, marriage, career, business, and not feel the need to have to sacrifice your personal happiness or your professional ambition, you can go to thomasedwardsjr.com. Once again, this is Thomas Edwards reminding you to make life a game that you can win and have fun playing. Until next time, I'll see you around.